One aspect of the Switch that has its players in a frenzy is that people just really want to be able to play all their games on it. Whenever a game is announced now, usually the first couple questions followed up are where's the Switch version, so this has led to many games being ported over to this system, from the Wii U to many popular indie games. Firstly, because the Wii U had some fantastic games that nobody got to play because the system sold so terribly, and secondly because games are just selling very well on the system, so developers are hurrying to bring the games over to make some bank. So this leads me to my top 10 games I believe should be ported over to the Switch. Now I'm not restricting these games to only Nintendo games, so really anything is on the table for this list. And also these games are in no particular order. There are just 10 games I think should hop aboard the Switch hype train because, trust me, there is plenty of room. Well, I bet you didn't see that one coming. Everyone seems to forget that Metal Gear Solid 5 also released on the Xbox 360 and PS3, consoles that released a full 10 years before the Switch was released. So there is absolutely no question that the Switch can support the full game. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a masterpiece of a stealth action game. It provides almost an endless amount of gameplay scenarios that you can think of. It has some of the best gameplay in the entire series, and the game is just perfect for a portable system once you think about it. The game has a wonderful gameplay loop of dropping you off at a location, doing a mission or two, then riding back to Mother Base, or getting back into your helicopter to choose another mission. This leaves you with a perfect opportunity for you to complete a mission before bed or while you're waiting for a pizza. And we know Konami and Nintendo have been partners on the Switch already because of Super Bomberman R releasing on launch day. So this is definitely not an impossibility, but maybe it's just a little far-fetched. Pikmin is a wonderfully charming series. I adored Pikmin 3. It has some of the most calming and de-stressing gameplay you can find out there. I have great memories of laying in bed and playing on the gamepad and exploring the fantastic worlds while the therapeutic and relaxing soundtrack filled my ears. So bring it over to the Switch. What I would really love though is a trilogy collection with Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. But that most likely will not happen because why sell you one game when they could sell you all three separately? But you never know. We saw a trilogy collection for Metroid Prime, and even with the Mario All-Stars pack way back on the Super Nintendo. I would love to play Pikmin 3 again, and even 1 and 2 because I never got around to playing them. And it would be a perfect way to market the series for the impending release of Pikmin 4 that we already know is probably almost finished. There's no better way to get people excited about a game than getting the previous games in the players' hands. Speaking of trilogies, the Metroid Prime Trilogy could act just like a hypothetical Pikmin trilogy and market the series before the release of Metroid Prime 4. And it would also help to have one of the greatest games of all time on the Switch. Metroid Prime is in a league of its own when it comes to level design and atmosphere. Even going back to the game today on the GameCube, you will be greeted with fascinating and lonesome worlds and environments. The Metroid series creates the most desolate and isolated environments and feelings in video games, and it has stood the test of time better than most games. Their switch over to 3D environments was incredible, and the boost to HD would make these games look amazing. Metroid has had a resurgence in the past year, and the word has gotten out how great the series is. So let's make this happen, Nintendo. Super Mario Maker is definitely on the way to the Switch. The game provided one of the most unique experiences in video games. Taking one of the most recognizable characters in video games out there and giving you the power to create your own levels was incredible. It led to some amazing experiences and showed me that so many people out there could have a future in level design. I was genuinely shocked how well made and how creative some levels were. And this game can theoretically just exist forever. If this game was ported to Switch, which I have to believe it is, then they can just keep adding on content for years. If it releases, they could just drop some new content that wasn't in the Wii U version, as well as add some new content from Super Mario Odyssey. Nintendo could even create their own levels or even full-on games as DLC packs within Super Mario Maker. The game really has an infinite amount of levels you can play and continue to play for years to come, and I have to believe we will hear something about it at E3. The Legend of Zelda series is personally my favorite video game franchise, and the remastered versions of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are astounding. The Wind Waker is one of the best looking games ever released, and the HD version makes it look even better. Twilight Princess provides one of the grandest Zelda experiences out there, and a duo version of these two games would be a wonderful companion to the Switch. Breath of the Wild has now sold the second highest amount in the series at about 7.8 million, just behind Twilight Princess at 8.8 million. And Breath of the Wild will most likely surpass Twilight Princess because the Switch and Wii U had such a smaller install base compared to the lifetime sales of the Wii. So now that Breath of the Wild has sold so many units, it has definitely opened the door to many Zelda newcomers, and why not give them the opportunity to play some of the other games in the franchise. Now, if only Nintendo made my ultimate dream come true by making a collection with all of the 3D Zelda games on one cartridge. Just imagine Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, and hell, let's just throw in Breath of the Wild as well. We can leave Skyward Sword out of it. I would pay $100 or more for that, but that's never gonna happen. I can only dream. It is actually mind-blowing to me how there hasn't been a Mario Party game on the Switch yet. They actually have a console now that people love to play local multiplayer games on, and they don't have their flagship party game on it yet. I mean, the game has party in the title. I swear, Karen from the reveal video would be disappointed. But when this game was announced for 3DS, I was absolutely dumbfounded. This was something people have dreamed of for a long time. This is all Mario Party fans wanted, and they just had to stick it on the Nintendo 3DS. I get that there are over 70 million 3DS consoles out there, and they were thinking that the game would have a better opportunity to sell well on that platform, but I really think it would have killed on the Switch. I mean, we are seeing big sales numbers from many games on the Switch, and I have to believe Mario Party would be in the same boat. The game is what all Mario Party fans wanted, and it would be on arguably the best Nintendo console ever made. The series has usually sold pretty well, so pair this game with a console that makes it so easy to play local multiplayer wherever you want, and I can guarantee success. Well, I have to believe this one is coming. Grand Theft Auto V, recently just announced as the most profitable piece of entertainment ever made, must be transitioning to the Switch. Recently, Rockstar remastered LA Noire and even put out a Switch version that sold decently well. Rockstar even said that they were impressed by the amount of Switch sales the game produced. So if a game like LA Noire can sell pretty well on the Switch, just imagine what Grand Theft Auto V can do as well. And the game was first released on the 360 and PS3, so we know there is no technical limitations to the system. I have to say that this is just weird to be even talking about this possibility. Just imagine when this game was first released in 2013. The Wii U had been out for about a year and was already a huge dud. Not many games were announced for the system, and Nintendo was getting phased out of a lot of gamers' lives. Hell, I remember one year the only big name game for the Wii U was Color Splash, a game many Paper Mario fans did not want. Now flash forward 5 years later, and I'm saying it would be smart for Rockstar, the pinnacle of game development, to release the most profitable piece of entertainment on a Nintendo console. Life is really weird. Resident Evil 4, the game that has appeared on the GameCube, PS2, Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, PC, Xbox One, and PS4, should also come to the Nintendo Switch. Not because I think it will sell incredibly well, but mainly because I just want to play it on my Switch. Resident Evil 4 is one of the best games ever made and might be the best survival horror game ever made. It provides just the amount of action to horror ratio. The way the game restricts your movement is ingenious and really adds another layer of fear to the game. The switch from your typical zombies to an insane infected Spanish cult was terrifying. Having these crazed people running after you with torches and pitchforks yelling in a language you don't understand was scary as well. And the switch to an over-the-shoulder camera and becoming a third-person shooter provided some actually really deep gameplay. I'm a firm believer that some of the best games of all time should be playable on as many consoles as possible because everyone should be able to play them. And Resident Evil 4 is probably a perfect example of that because it's been on 8 different consoles. Now, I'm not a big Fortnite player. I'm more of a PUBG guy myself, but I see why everyone loves it so much. The map is much smaller, the game is a lot more action oriented compared to PUBG, and probably the most important part is that it's free. And this has absolutely captured millions and millions of players. When Fortnite was released on phones, schools were actually having to take up phones because so many students would not stop playing it. Students were even bringing down school networks because so many people were playing Fortnite on it. So it's safe to say the game would probably do well on the Switch. And once again, there shouldn't be any technical problems because the game was released on mobile. Not even that much of a dumbed down version. It looks practically the same on console. If I had to bet on it, I believe we will have a Beyonce release of this game at E3 this year, meaning the game will be available right after their E3 Direct. I can already see Epic Games riding in on their golden jets from all the money they made from Fortnite and announcing it for Switch. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are my favorite 3D platformers, and I believe the best 3D platformers ever made. Yes, even better than 64. The fascinating use of gravity provided some of the best level design I've ever seen, and gave me some of the most fun gaming memories I can think of. And what the first game introduced, the second one perfected. While I might have fonder memories of Super Mario Galaxy's locations and hub world, Super Mario Galaxy 2 introduced Yoshi and perfected that adaptation of gravity. And the boost to HD would look amazing. If they did a full-on remaster like Crash Bandicoot did, then Jesus Christ, it could look absolutely stunning. But sadly, Miyamoto has said in the past that he has no interest in remastering any of the 3D Mario games, so this one might be a little far-fetched. But who knows, this is a much different Nintendo than we have seen in the past, and they are doing things we would not expect them to do. So really anything can happen, and that is so exciting. Well, those are some games I believe should hop on the Switch hype train. But what do you guys think? Let me know some games that you believe should have a resurgence on the Switch in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of my other content. I will see you next time.